Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 6th episode of the Stevenage Football Club podcast, hosted by myself, Borough fan Matt Farley, along with guests discussing everything Borough, everything League Two, every week of the season. Now, obviously, it's a bit of an exciting podcast today. We have started our League Two campaign. With me today, and only with me today, because there is only one along with me today, we have not got Harley Clark on the podcast this week. Unfortunately, Harley couldn't do today. This is the first one Harley is missing. So, Harley, when you listen, bud, we'd like you back.
Yeah, we miss you.
We miss you, Harley. With me today, I like to say regular now, because you've been on the podcast.
Because I am a regular.
Yeah, I like to think you've been on the podcast. Well, I think you've done the last 4 episodes. Is Borough fan Danny Lusby. Danny, welcome back, mate.
Thank you for having me. Delighted to be here.
Yeah, this
As
is
always.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you back, Danny. And it's just me and you today. We haven't got any other guests.
Feels a bit strange not having Harley.
It does, doesn't it? But this will be good today, Dan. I think we'll be able to bounce off each other quite well.
Yeah, of course.
We've got a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Now, we will go straight into it. Topic of the day. Now, obviously, last Saturday, we started our League Two campaign with our opening League Two fixture away at Salford. We lost 2-0. I think we could all say it was a disappointing performance. Not the start we wanted. Bit annoyed that we played like that on live on Sky Sports. Dan, I'll come to you. What were your thoughts on that disappointing opening day last Saturday?
Yeah, it's not the result we were hoping for. You know, we were all Stevenage fans were confident going into the game, and you know, a lot of Stevenage fans paid a lot of money as well. You know, for travel, and a lot of them went out Friday night as well and stayed in hotels, obviously like ourselves, which was a fantastic night as well. It's just a shame to perform like that on Sky Sports. It's very disappointing for the fans and everyone involved at Stevenage. But we deserved to lose. I thought the tactics were very poor. I thought Dino got it completely wrong. I think we all know that, and Dino has to take responsibility for it.
The setup weren't right, was it? Unfortunately. No. Do you know? No, really good points made. Again, don't get me wrong. I think that the injury list has obviously taken its toll. I like to think that with Nugent and Denton playing, I think we would have got a result, because I think the back 5 or back 4 would have been a lot better than it was. Do you know what? It was disappointing. 608 Borough fans travelled, and God knows how many watched on Sky Sports, especially with all the globalised channels that were showing it. I was really disappointed with it. The performance was very poor. I think we accumulated 1 shot on target in the first 57 minutes.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great.
For me, and I'm going to be brave and bold in saying this, I think Dino got his... I don't think Dino did his homework.
No, I agree.
I'd watched clips of Salford all summer. I watched how they played in the conference. They've got all their goals on there from last season.
Yeah.
And on that little slope of the pitch, they love to hit that diagonal ball, and they put a lot of crosses in from that area of the pitch. And from set pieces, they use Carl Piargiani, I can't even say his name, the number 6 at the back. He wins all their ball in the box. And I just didn't think he did his homework. I think he played the wrong setup, the wrong tactics.
Yeah.
The midfield didn't get on the ball, did they? Any one of them?
I thought when Hussein came on, I thought we looked good on the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree. He and Paul Taylor, I thought, were big positives of the match.
He worked very hard.
One bit of evidence that proved that I think he didn't really do... He might have done a little bit of homework, but he didn't do a real thoroughbred research of homework, was the second goal. And I watched the goals back. I watched the game back. I've seen it back 3 times, actually. And I watched the second goal, and in the wall, we have got Scott Cuthbert, Curtis Guthrie, and Terence Van Kooten. Now, 3 players that I would like in the box defending. Okay, and you know that Salford are going to hit the long ball back to the back post where Piargiani is, because they always do that, and he wins the ball like he did and they scored. And marking Piargiani was Paul Taylor, who no offence to Paul, but tall. Paul isn't the tallest player in the squad, and I would have preferred Scott Cuthbert to be marking him. So I just thought,
what Cuthbert's like with his head, like he can header it out.
He's one of the best headers in the side, if not the best.
Exactly.
And I thought that. Yeah, I thought it was a lack of homework. I thought the setup was wrong. Don't get me wrong, the injury list is bad at the minute, and obviously I think it took its toll.
Yeah.
But it wasn't great, Dan, was it?
No, not at all. Hopefully for a better performance this Saturday.
I completely agree. So yeah, losing 2-0. I think the only positive though is it was great to see Borough kick off another League Two campaign, wasn't
Absolutely,
it? It was great being up there.
Definitely.
And okay, we were poor and we didn't play well, and you know, for the 608 Borough that went up, I know that a lot of people were annoyed on the day, but it is a privilege when we get to see our club involved in League Two, and it was a celebration on Saturday for kicking off another season. It was great to be on telly. I know that obviously we didn't play well, but yeah, look, we've kicked off the season. It's the start of a new journey, and I think that's what we all liked.
Yeah.
For you, Danny, we actually went up on the Friday, didn't we?
We did. It was a fantastic night.
Do you know what? For all the listeners, it was bar the result and the performance. It was a fantastic weekend, and we couldn't have
had a lot to drink.
We did.
We got very excited, didn't we?
We couldn't have had a better weekend, even though Borough had lost our opening game. We went up on the Friday, didn't we, Dan? We drove up, and we had a really good night out, didn't we, in Manchester? We got really drunk, didn't we?
We certainly did.
And for the listeners, we were out, and it was 2 o'clock. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, Dan.
Yeah, it was very, very late.
It was very late, and we'd all had a few to drink, and we were singing Stevenage songs, and we made a spontaneous trip at 2:30 in the morning to the football stadium, didn't we?
Yes.
It was, and we went there, and
we were bonkers.
We went there. It was 2:30, and it was really weird standing there with 10 hours to kick off, wasn't it? Or having too many drinks. It was very funny for anyone listening. It was absolutely fantastic. I'll always remember that night. But no, look, bar the result, it was a really good weekend, wasn't it? To kick off the season.
Absolutely, yeah.
So obviously, that was Saturday, and I like to think we could put that in the past. This Saturday, we have got our second League Two fixture of the season, our first home fixture in League Two against Exeter City. Now, Exeter won last Saturday 1-0 in the last 2 minutes. So I'll throw that in there against Macclesfield.
Yeah.
We've got Exeter nevertheless. They're always entertaining games when we host Exeter. Normally, we get good results.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to come to you, Dan. I'll come to your team in a bit, but I'll come to your quick thoughts about this game. Must-win game? Do we, from you, what do you want to see Saturday in terms of the performance and the result?
Well, I want to see a better performance than last week, really. I want to see improvement. I want to see us set up better. I want Dino to realise that, we have to be on our game. We have to be set up a lot better. The formation has to be spot on, especially against tough sides like Exeter as well. Exeter's never an easy game. But yeah, that's all I want. I want improvement, and I think the setup needs to be right. Because obviously that was the problem last week.
I completely agree. I think it's a difficult one to see. I actually think it is our most important game of the first month. The reason why I'll say that is obviously we've got a lot of players out injured at the minute, and obviously we've lost our opening match, and if we can just get a win, if we can just get 3 points on the board, we'll have a win there, and whatever happens at Orient happens. That's a very tough match next Saturday. Same against Bradford, same against Manfield. If we can just get a win, it would be so big to have 3 points on the board already. Even a point, it's something on the board.
Yeah.
We want to see a good performance, don't we? Because it wasn't great last Saturday. And we want to see the right setup. We want to see Dino play the right team. Obviously, the transfer window shuts soon. We might sign some more players within that time.
I have heard that we are linked with a few.
Yes, I do believe there are a couple of centre halves on the books, possibly. We don't know anything in print yet, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough match against Exeter. They had a very good pre-season, and they've obviously won last Saturday. All right, last 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. They've won the game. It will be a tough match, but hopefully the boys will get a result, and we can move into these tough matches with a bit of momentum. So
that's what we all need.
I completely agree. So team selections. We have done our teams. Danny, I'm going to come to you first. I want you to go through your teim. I want us to talk you through your team, and then I want you to explain why you've chosen the team that you have.
Okay, so my team for Exeter this Saturday is Paul Farman in goal.
Yep.
That's not going to change. He's our main man. Although, I would like to see Bastien, the number 2, the French number 2, to get a chance. I can't see him getting a chance this Saturday because I think Dino will want to play his strongest keeper, which is obviously Paul. Luther Wilding, he looks solid against Salford. He keeps his place. He looked good running up and down the flanks. So yeah, I keep Luther. Scott Cuthbert at centre back. He's our captain, and I didn't think he was great against Salford, but he's still a big, important player in our team, and I think he will improve Saturday. Terence Van Kooten at centre back with Cuthbert. I thought he looked all right. I think he was one of the best out of the back four actually.
Yep.
So Van Kooten's there.
Okay, yeah, good pick.
I've gone with Chris Stokes at left back. A lot of you know that I like Stokes as a left centre back, but there's no Denton Saturday as far as I'm aware. Can't play Fielding because it didn't work, and
yeah, I felt again.
The only option Stokes.
I know we're talking about the team at Exeter, but Fielding got a lot of stick on Saturday, and do you know
He
what?
did.
I felt quite sorry
right.
for him because
Yeah.
this is the thing we've got to remember about Jamie Fielding is he was from Hastings. It was his professional debut.
It was.
And it was in a
Very nerve-wracking
a hostile
for him.
match like that. Well, I say hostile. I mean the crowd there wasn't exactly Kenilworth Road. But what I mean is, he was on camera, he was marking some good players, and it was his pro debut. He hadn't had hardly any minutes in pre-season. Felt sorry for the lad. Obviously come off with dizziness, so yeah, I don't know how he feels in for this Saturday. Who have you got in the centre there, Dan?
Tom Sawes.
Okay.
Tom Sawes looked good.
Yep.
I felt he could have been, coming, a bit more deep and, press up a bit more instead of sitting back. But other than that, he was good.
Yep.
Noor Hussein, I thought he looked really good when he came on.
Yeah, real positive Hussein, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I agree with that in the middle there, Dan.
We had the ball a bit more. His footwork's very good, and yeah, he looked promising. In an attacking role there, I've gone with Charlie Carter.
Okay.
I think he deserves a chance.
Yep.
He's had a very good pre-season, and yeah, I think Dino should put him into the team for Saturday. He's good on the ball, and he's like a parrot. He can push forward. He has that sort of thrive, towards the attack. So I've gone with Carter.
Okay, and who have you got up top, Dan?
I've gone with 3 actually. I've gone with Danny Newton, Curtis Guthrie, and Paul Taylor.
Oh, interesting. So you've played all 3 of them up there together.
Yeah, I think we have to go out all attack. I think Dino loves attacking football. I thought because Guthrie was up front on his own last week, and I felt sorry for Curtis.
Do you know what?
Service,
actually, I was really impressed with Paul Taylor, and I know to come on in a match like that when the team isn't functioning well, I thought when he got the ball, he looked half decent, and I would like to see him play a lot this season. So I like that you've put him in there. I think that's a really good choice.
Yeah, definitely. He worked hard, and he was very good on the ball. Yeah, he just looked really, really good and deserves a start.
I like that. So Farman, Luther, Scotty, Stokes, Van Kooten, Sawes, Hussein, Carter, Taylor, Guthrie and Newton. So Danny has gone for that team. Let us know on Twitter and on Facebook what you think about Danny's team, if you would go with Danny's team or things that you would change. Danny, I like that team, mate. Really good setup. My team, I believe that he should change the formation. I think that there's a blueprint from last Saturday of how teams can beat us. You keep the ball in the air, you take the flanks over, and I think with our formation, I think that's a blueprint of how you use a formation against our formation. So I think Dino needs to change it up. I have gone for 4-4-1-1, a bit of a title with 2 wingers. Now, my team, I've gone for Paul Farman in goal, of course. I think Paul should play a lot. Every week. My right back, I've gone Luther Wilding. Now, my 2 centre halves, obviously, it looks like Nugent's out for a while. He's in a bit of a cast at the minute, and they reckon he'll be out for the next couple of months.
Which is a very big blow.
Very big blow. So, for me, my 2 centre halves, I've gone Terence Van Kooten and Scott Cuthbert at the 2 at the back.
Fair enough. That's what I've gone with.
unless we do sign a centre-half in the next 24 hours, which could obviously play. My left-back, I've gone Chris Stokes. I've gone for Stokes at left-back. I think that Stokes, experienced player, I'd like to see him play there, but I think that back four's good enough to play Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
My right side of midfield, I've actually put Sanupe. Now, Sanupe's been used a lot since the back end of last season as kind of a modern-day midfielder in there who picks up the ball in the midfield. He likes picking pockets of space. I've told the story about what Mark Sampson said at him at the open day. But for me, I would like to give him a go on that wing. I think we're struggling for wing players at the minute, and I'd like to see him out there. I think he'd do a lot better out there than he did on Saturday. Gives us a bit of an outlet on the right side as well. My two in the middle, I have gone for Tom Soares and I've gone for Nur Hussein. Again, I thought Soares, felt a bit sorry for him at the weekend, didn't get on the ball. Soares is a very, very experienced player. Nur Hussein, I thought, was excellent when he come on. He started to slow the game down and was getting on the ball a lot more, wasn't he? And distributing the ball.
Agree.
Now, left side of midfield, if he's fit, I've put Tyler Denton there.
Right.
Down to the fact that I think on the left side of the pitch, he's used to playing left wing back anyway. I think the left wing role wouldn't be anything much different. So I've put him there.
Well, he's a left-sided player, so...
Exactly. He's got pace and he gets the ball in quite well, doesn't he? If he's not fit, I would put Danny Newton and put two up top with three in. But I'm going to stick Denton in there if he's fit on the left. My one off the centre forward is Dean Parrott.
Yep, Dean Parrott.
I'd like to see Dean get on the ball a lot more this week. I thought on Saturday, obviously, he took a knock. I know he had an injury with his hamstring, but for me, he was trying to play too much as a centre forward, and I'd like Dean to come off into the midfield and get a lot more of the ball. And for me up front, I've gone for Curtis Guthrie. Felt sorry for Curtis on Saturday. I thought he actually worked really hard. He just didn't get any service. I put Guthrie there. I'd have Taylor and Newton ready to come on. I think that team would be very good defensively, and I think going forward we've got pace either side and we've got quality from the midfield up to Guthrie with a lot of service. So that would be my team. Again, for the listeners listening, let us know what you think on the two teams, what you would change. If you'd like to stick with our team, please let us know on the Stevenage Football Club podcast Twitter page and the Facebook page. That would be fantastic. So no, really good to go through there, Danny.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we would normally play a pre-match interview. We would have played a post-match interview from the Salford interview, but we have had some technical difficulties this week, we'll say. It has been a little bit of a pain, hasn't it? So I'm going to read out what Dino has said today. There was an article that come out on the post-match for this Saturday along with Exeter, so I'm going to quickly just read out Dino's thoughts. We're going to discuss them. Now, Dino has said on the game Saturday, and this is about Exeter, they have kept more or less the same squad as last season and strengthened in one or two areas. I watched their game against Macclesfield at the weekend, and although they won the game, they didn't play as well as I'm sure their manager would want. I'm sure they'll be talking about if they have the same performance, they would lose at the weekend. So I'm sure their manager expects more. It is a tough game, but we have got to make sure we get our own house in order and worry about the opposition later. That is a really, really exciting, actually. It will make a huge difference to us. The lads can't wait, and hopefully we'll put on a good show for the fans. We had a fantastic backing at Salford, and we let them know and let them down. That doesn't make any sense from the club website. No. We have got to make sure that won't happen again, and we are determined to get that right this weekend. Now, obviously, Dino hasn't been caught on video for that. That's on the article on the website. Quick thoughts on this, Dan. I think it sounds okay.
Yeah, positive interview.
Positive interview.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm a little bit not worried about is where he says we get our own house in order and worry about the opposition later. I don't know what that says to me, because, again, when I say a lack of homework, that statement panics me a little bit, because I hope he's done a real good thoroughbred on Exeter, and I hope it's not one of these things a little bit like Salford on the opening day where he just focuses on ourselves and doesn't really look too much into the opposition.
Yeah, you have to focus on the opposition because they're the team that you're playing.
Exactly.
You have to focus on both, your own team and the opposition. Obviously, focus on the opposition because you need to try and win the game. Obviously, you need to focus on what team you put out because you don't want to make, another mistake like last week.
I completely agree, yeah.
So, I think it's a positive interview.
Obviously, I think just reading that interview, you can tell that, almost in his voice, that we really need a big performance this Saturday. After last Saturday, you can tell that
they weren't happy at all, and he'll know that he wants to make the fans happy, and he knew full well that him and the team let us down.
I completely agree. It's a massive game, and I think you can tell that. Again, he's not giving too much away there. A statutory interview, it's always the same every week, isn't it? But no, interesting to just go through Dino's thoughts on Saturday. Now, obviously, last Saturday, we weren't the only match in the division. There were other games in the league, so we will come on to the League 2 roundup now of all the other matches that happened in the division. Now, obviously, we were the 12:30 kickoff, so there were loads of other games that were in before ours. Now, we're just going to quickly go through some of the results and some of the results that stuck out and some of the results that stuck out for the wrong reasons as well. So we will come to the results. I'm going to quickly scan through them. Obviously, Stevenage Borough obviously losing 2-0. Salford, obviously, we're very disappointed. Bradford 0, Cambridge 0.
Very surprising.
Yeah,
great point for Cambridge.
Bit surprising there, wasn't it, against Cambridge? Carlisle 2, Crawley 1. I think that's a pretty standard result.
Yeah, definitely.
Colchester 1, Port Vale 1. Again, pretty standard result. Crewe 0, Plymouth 3. Quite a good result, that one.
I thought, Crewe could have done better.
Yeah.
As they got one of the best home records in League 2.
I completely agree. And do you know what? On the way home on Saturday, I got on the train and there were 1,700 Plymouth fans there. And
fantastic support.
They all got on the train on the way home, and then I was having a good chat with them, and they were talking about how we were the most supported club at 12:30 kickoff. And I was speaking to them, and they said that it was an absolute fantastic performance. It's really interesting with Plymouth because we spoke a lot about Plymouth in the pre-season, hadn't we? About they might not have a good season, and they've blown us out of the water at the minute, haven't they? With that result, Exeter 1, Macclesfield 0. Obviously, Exeter scoring in the 88th minute. Not a great performance, I heard.
Macclesfield very unlucky not to get something.
I completely agree. It'll be very interesting in the first 30 minutes because apparently Exeter were appalling. So, bit of a tip for our boys on Saturday. Forest Green 1, Oldham 0. Good result for Forest Green. Leyton Orient 1, Cheltenham 0. Good result for Leyton Orient after all the stuff they've had over the summer. Morecambe 0, Grimsby 2. Newport 2, Mansfield 2. Northampton 0, Walsall 1. And Scunthorpe 0, Swindon 2. So there's some good results there. Again, Grimsby, I thought they'd have a good start to the season because they've signed a lot of players.
Yeah,
so no, a pretty standard first weekend. Now, obviously, the fixtures this weekend, we will quickly run through them along with our fixtures. Obviously, some good fixtures this weekend. We'll quickly run through them. Some big games. Grimsby v Bradford. That's at 1 o'clock earlier kickoff. That's a cracking game, isn't it, Danny?
Both strong sides. Looking to get a win there. Early kickoff.
Big crowd, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bradford, I reckon, will take thousands up there. Maybe even over 1,200 possibly. I think that'll be a very big crowd. Cambridge v Newport. Good game. Good game, that. Cambridge Newport. Newport started okay with the draw. Cheltenham v Scunthorpe. Crawley versus Salford. Macclesfield versus Leyton Orient. Mansfield v Morecambe. Oldham v Crewe. Plymouth v Colchester. Port Vale v Northampton. Obviously, Borough versus Exeter. Swindon v Carlisle. And Walsall Forest Green. So it should be a
quite
interesting weekend.
Yeah,
I like the second week because you get all the results on the first week, and then on the second week they can all turn around, and then a lot of the teams, including ourselves.
There's always a twist in there.
Yeah, the teams down the bottom can then get a win, and the teams up the top can drop points. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Any games? Obviously, I know we've picked up Grimsby and Bradford. Any other games that stand out for you this weekend?
Macclesfield Orient, I think, will be a good game.
Yep.
I think Plymouth Colchester.
Yeah, that's a good game, isn't it? I
That'll
know
be a very good
Colchester
game.
haven't had a good pre-season, and they drew
They're both
last week.
decent sides as well. Both got very good players in
Big,
their sides.
big clubs, big money.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good chat. Any other games at all?
Oh, I think Swindon Carlisle is always a good game.
Yep.
Always goals in that one.
Yeah, there always is with those type of matches, isn't there?
Yeah. So them three are the ones that stand out for me. Obviously, Grimsby-Bradford will be a very big game.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, last week in the League 2 roundup, it's a bit of a mouthful this, I've got to be honest. We started our very own Stevenage Football Club podcast, League 2 Fixtures Prediction Competition. That's a bit of a mouthful, that, isn't it? We started our own League 2 Fixtures Prediction Competition on the podcast. This is when supporters, along with ourselves, predict all the matches in League 2. There are a point system. You get 3 points for a correct prediction. You get 2 points for half a prediction correct. So that's getting one team's scoreline right. You get no points, for a wrong prediction. And you also get a bonus point if you get Borough's prediction correct. So whether that's a correct prediction or half a prediction, you get 1 bonus point on Borough's prediction. Now, we had 5 entries last week. Now we have got a few more this weekend, so hopefully we will be getting up to around 10 competitors in the competition. If you want to get involved in the prediction competition, please tweet us the matches back tonight. I will put a tweet out on how you join and what you do to join and your fixtures and your predictions. It's great fun, and there are prizes for the top 4 and a prize for the bottom place loser, which we have to kind of do. Now, there was 5 of us. I'm going to read out the league table.
I can confirm I went off the worst possible start.
Now, in 5th place, currently with 9 points, is Sir Danny Lusby.
Thank you.
Unlucky, Danny. Not a good start from you, is it? You know,
no, very poor start.
A man with your knowledge.
I'm sure I'll bounce back.
A man with your knowledge, I thought you'd be, up near the 20-point mark, but let's call it a one-off, eh?
Yeah.
In 4th place is myself with 14 points.
That's double than what I've got almost.
I mean, it's not great. I thought I'd do better, but the opening day of football, they're very unpredictable results. So
yeah,
I'm not that disheartened with 14 points.
Still 45 games left.
100%, that's most certainly right. In 3rd place with 17 points, 3 points ahead of me. I think he's going to be very happy to hear this. I'm actually quite happy he's not here today to gloat about this. On 17 points is Harley Clark.
Well done, Harley.
Well done, Harley. So it's great that Harley isn't here tonight, because I know he'd be gloating over me and you right now by being ahead by a few points. Currently 2nd place in the league table with 19 points. Very good start. Is Aidan Cheevers. Well done, Aidan.
Well done, Aidan.
Really good. Aidan's obviously
Positive
part of the
there.
Borough Bus Gang. Well done, Aidan. And top of the pile, in 1st place currently, this is a fantastic start. With 24 points is Patrick Jackson.
Very well done.
And a little stat, we all predicted the fixtures. I got 2 right, correct. I think you got about 1, I think it was Danny.
1.
Patrick was the only competitor to get Borough's prediction correct. He did Stevenage to lose 2-0.
Yeah.
He did
Shame
Borough
he was
to lose.
negative about the result.
I know, he got it right though. So
Yeah.
Patrick,
Fair play to him.
that's right, Patrick started with 4 points already, and that was on the first fixture. So he's nearly had half your amount of points on the first fixture, Dan. It's not great, is it?
No.
But well done, Patrick. That's a great start for the league table. Now, this week's fixtures, as we've just gone through, are very good fixtures. Now, we have done our predictions, Danny. I will be tweeting tonight for people's predictions for the 2nd week.
Yep.
Now, we are going to scan through these. Dan, you are going to go through your predictions first.
Okay.
So, would you like to take us through your predictions of League 2 this weekend?
Well, so my predictions for this Saturday are the early kick-off. I put Grimsby 1, Bradford 2.
Okay.
I've gone with Cambridge 1, Newport 3.
That's a good result.
Well, Newport always score goals at Cambridge. I mean, I can remember last season they won 3-0. And then in the Caribou Cup, they won 4-1.
And they scored 2 against Mansfield on the opener, didn't they? So
Yeah, they do score a lot of goals. And
yeah,
good
really
attack
good.
as well.
Next game?
Cheltenham 1, Scunthorpe 2.
Okay.
Even though Scunthorpe lost last week, I think they will bounce back.
Yeah.
I've gone with my team, our team, Stevenage. 1-0 win.
Yeah,
against
good
Exeter.
man. Got to be positive, haven't you?
Of course. I think we'll bounce back.
Good man. Next prediction?
Macclesfield Orient 1-0.
Okay.
Mansfield 3, Morecambe 0. I think Mansfield will win that quite comfortably.
Yeah, good prediction.
Crawley 1, Salford 2. I think if Salford played like they did against us, they will beat Crawley.
Yeah.
This one, the game that I'm looking forward to, the one that's going to stand out for me, Plymouth 2, Colchester 2.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very entertaining game, and I think both teams will have a share of the points.
Okay.
Oldham 1, Crewe 2. I think Crewe will bounce back
Yep.
after their disappointing first match.
Okay.
Walsall 2, Forest Green 0.
Yeah.
I think Walsall, they're quite strong at home. And
Yeah, Walsall had a really good start beating Northampton, didn't they? That was a really good result.
Obviously, Forest Green got a win as well, so it should be a good game. Though.
Really good game. No, really good fixtures there, Dan. So Dan's got...
Oh, there's two more left to read.
Oh, sorry, go on, sorry. It's just the way I've got it. I've written it down on my sheet of paper as the actual list of Walsall, Forest Green and the last fixture. Sorry, go for it, Dan, sorry.
Swindon 3, Carlisle 2.
Oh, good game.
Yeah,
good game.
5-goal thriller there.
Yeah, I like that.
There's always goals in them sort of games.
Yeah, really good.
And for Port Vale 1, Northampton 3. I think Northampton will be all over Port Vale.
All over them. No, I've got to be honest, Dan. I think that is a really good prediction. Do you know what? You've gone for a lot of goals this weekend as well. There's a lot of 3s and 2s in there.
I can see there've been a lot of goals.
Yeah, really good. Do you know what? They normally say the second week that there's a lot more goals as well, because some of those teams that haven't started well, including us, seem to really give it a go and can end up scoring a couple of goals. So it can really be a kind of a goal fest normally on the second week. So those are Danny's League 2 fixtures for the prediction. Really good predictions actually, Danny. I'm going to quickly go through mine. Now I'm going to obviously start with the Borough match. Now my prediction, I have gone Borough 1, Exeter 0.
Oh, same as me.
I think that if Dino can get the setup right this time and can play the right players, I think it will be a really tough game, and it could be one of those real horrible games. But I think that we will score a winner in the last 20 minutes, and I think we'll hold on to score a really valuable 3 points. So I've gone 1-0 Borough. My predictions are as follows. I've gone Grimsby 1, Bradford 1.
Oh, yeah.
Cambridge 1, Newport 2. Kind of almost the same as yours, just 1 goal less. I've gone Cheltenham 0, Scunthorpe 1. Crawley 1, Salford 2. I think Salford will get another win. I think they'll be good early on into the season. Now, this prediction is a bit of a shocker. I've mentioned this to a few people the last 2 days, but I have gone Macclesfield 2, Leyton Orient 1.
Oh, right.
I think that Leyton Orient will lose a match, and I think we'll win. And our build-up next Saturday, I think we'll go there on a lot of confidence that Orient have just lost their last match. I bet you that happens. Macclesfield, I heard, play really well at Exeter, and I think at home they'll be a really difficult side to beat, and I think they could beat Leyton Orient on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, I heard Leyton Orient didn't actually play that well against Cheltenham. Cheltenham had 2 people sent off, and they scored with 20 minutes to go. So,
yeah,
I think Macclesfield will win. I've gone Mansfield 3, Morecambe 0. I think that's the same as yours, actually, isn't it?
Quite a comfortable win.
Comfortable win. I've got Oldham 2, Crewe 2, Plymouth 3, Colchester 1, Port Vale 0, Northampton 1. I agree with you. I think Northampton will get a win. Really good side. I know they lost their opener. Swindon 1, Carlisle 0, and Walsall 3, Forest Green 2. So I've gone for an exciting game with Walsall and Forest Green. So no, really, really good to go through our fixtures. Again, I will tweet out tonight about the competition. If you want to compete and you want to get involved, please tweet back or Facebook us your fixture predictions, and we will get you straight in the league table and straight involved, and it's going to be a fantastic competition throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely.
So really, really good there, Dan. Now, there's only 2 of us today, so we've kind of flown through this episode, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, we have.
I am going to put a little one out for the listeners, actually, because I think the listeners deserve to know this. Yeah. Now, the podcast we are starting to hopefully get at Borough. We're hopefully starting to get it at the football club. Once the Broadhall Suite is completed with the new aircon, we're going to be in there. But for the last month, we've actually been doing the podcast at David Lloyd Gym in Stevenage, haven't we?
We have.
And they're having some technical difficulties in there. So we are actually currently sat in my car doing the podcast. As a couple of amateurs that we are.
I'm sweating my arse off.
Yeah, I got to be honest. It is very hot in here, and we're doing well, I think, Danny, considering the circumstances. I think we're doing quite well.
The humidity in the car.
It is very hot. For all the listeners listening, honestly, it is about, if I had to put a degree on it, I'd say it was about 40 degrees in this car. But we're hanging on in there, aren't we? We're nearly there, Dan.
Yes,
we're nearly
we're
there. Now, we're coming to the end of the podcast nearly. A bit of a shorter one because, again, it's only just me and Danny today. Harley has bailed. Harley, don't worry about it, mate. We're a bit upset about it.
I'm the new second in command.
I think Danny's taken your role, Harley, if you're listening to this. Now, I know that there was something that we missed, but I've been holding on to this for the fan section. So we're going to come to the fan section now, the Q&A section. Now, I put out a tweet on the Stevenage Football Club podcast Twitter page after our opening day defeat in League 2 to Salford. Your 3-word analysis. Now, this is something that we're going to be doing every week on the fan section. We're going to be doing a 3-word analysis. We're going to quickly go through some of what the fans have been saying in their 3-word analysis. There are a lot, so we might not be able to go through all of them. Now, we're going to quickly go through them. 3-word analysis. Gary Moat has said very, very poor.
Fair enough.
I think that's a fair judgment. Ian Coles said, not really surprising. That makes me laugh. Baldock Borough. Hi, Baldock. I know Baldock, very nice man. He said, too much hoofball. It's quite a good 3-word analysis.
There was a lot of hoofball. Yeah, I agree.
Owen has said, no creative spark. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's pretty fair analysis. Reece Donnelly has said, square one again. That's not bad. Not a bad 3-word analysis. Jonathan Hibbard actually, said no plan B. I say no
Very
plan B. I don't think we had the players to enforce a plan B, did we? They were all out injured. So, Colin Pepiat said Dino by name. Dino by nature, I guess that follows on to, but a really good one. The Borough Realist. Hi, Mick. Mick.
Hello, Mick.
Don't want Borough Realist to be named, but hi, Mick. Borough Realist has said live TV embarrassments. It's a bit of a strong one, isn't it? I mean, depends how you look at it. Mike Harnemans has said work in progress.
That's only 2 words.
Cruffers said improvement will happen. Jamie Wren, Dino getting unravelled. A bit of a strong one there, James.
Yeah.
Simon Hill, same old story. Billy Bolton, terrible first game. Aidan Habibi, where's our midfield? Well, I think there wasn't one, to be honest with you, Aidan.
Parrott came off injured, didn't he, after 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That's when we fell apart in that midfield.
That's when we fell apart. Borough Bits. Hi, Joe. Joe's a good lad. Joe came out of us on the Friday. Who are Salford? I like that one, Joe. That's very creative, mate.
That's brilliant.
Greg Ketz has said, didn't go. Phew. Greg.
That was only 2 words.
Yeah, well.
Didn't go.
Well, didn't go. Phew. I guess he's got away with that.
Yeah.
And one other from Will. Salford money bags. Oh, and there is one other. Wasp. Lump it forward. Patrick Jackson. Thin squad punished. So I think they're all our 3-word analysis. Really interesting analysis there, guys. I like some of those. Now we will come on to the Q&A section, so the question and answer section of the podcast. This is sent in by supporters who want to get a question answered on the podcast. Now there's only 2 of us today, so me and Danny are going to try and go through these. I do believe we've got about 5, Danny, or 6, so we might have to do 3 each.
Yeah,
but we'll try and whiz through these. We have got time. We've only been going 40 minutes today, which is quite nice.
Oh yeah.
Now, Danny, first question is from Patrick Jackson, and Patrick has asked, clearly we didn't get the most of the capabilities of the squad on Saturday. What system do you think could?
Different formation. Obviously the formation we had didn't work. More attacking and just more threat.
Yep.
Especially up front, I thought. Because like I said this before, Guthrie up front on his own didn't work. He didn't get the service. Obviously Dean Parrott coming off injured didn't help. We just need to be a bit more ruthless at goal, especially. Didn't create enough chances. That's it really, just more attacking, and we do need to change the system in terms of like formation. Players playing in the right positions.
Yeah.
Like Sanupe was playing central. he looked lost.
Yeah, there was a few. I think the setup was completely wrong, wasn't it?
I think that's just more of an attacking system, and
so would you say
the formation changed?
On from that question, would you say you want to see, more quality in the final third because we didn't have many shots and we want to see exciting football?
Yeah.
So what, more of an attacking team this weekend? Would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We like to see an attacking side and just need to be a bit more threatening.
No, really good answer there, Dan. Second question comes from Georgie. Thanks for your question, Georgie.
Georgie was with us on Friday.
He was, yeah. Georgie actually went to the ground, didn't he, at 2 a.m. So well done, Georgie.
Yeah.
Now, Georgie has asked, and this is a question for myself, would you rather an extra season in League Two and have a cut run where we can invest in a team that can comfortably finish mid-table, League One, or get promoted this season and run the risk of being relegated back to League Two in the first season back? Do you know what? That's a really good question from Georgie. A really sensible question. Georgie, I reckon that's probably one of the best questions we've had in, actually. Now, this is my opinion on it. Back in the past, with the old legend side at Borough, we went up and we got promoted to League Two. The club was even smaller than it is now. And then we went straight up to League One. And we all knew that I think in the future we would eventually come back down because the football club, well, the finances, I think, were probably worse off than they were now. We had the old North Stand, and you could just see that we were still very new to the Football League. And if it wasn't for the great side that we had, we would have come straight back down that season. And I think if you'd have asked me this question 3 years ago, or even a year or 2 years ago, I would have said I'd like to stay in League Two and build the club. However, this season, we've got the new North Stand built. And I think if we ever want to see the football club back in League One, that had to get built. The club looks like a proper Football League club now. I think we can all agree with that new stand. The other thing was the finances. Now, the finances still at Borough aren't great, but we've got the equity offering. And I know that's kind of ended now, but it did raise, I think someone said £350,000. I think that figure was thrown about. That was put into the playing budget, and as you can see, because of that, we've signed players like Stokes and Parrott and some really Denton, really good players. I actually think if we were to go up this season, I don't think we'd come back down next season. I think it would be tough, don't get me wrong, and I think that you've got an argument. You've got an argument for us being down the bottom of the division, but I actually think the club would be able to handle the pressure that League One brings in terms of the finances and the crowds. We've had a 26% increase in season ticket sales, and I think if we got promoted, that would only get bigger. Also, the people that put their money into the equity offering, if we did get promoted, would get more for their money back, which means they'd invest even more into the club. Yes. So I actually think I would like us to get promoted, and I think we've got all the things in place now for the club to get promoted, and if the team is good enough, we can do it. If Accrington Stanley can do it and stay up,
why not?
We can do it. I like to think we're a bigger club than Accrington Stanley, and we've got a better ground and we've got more finances, and I actually think the team now is obviously the Saturday result weren't great, but I think the team's on the right path. I think we'd be fine for League One. It would be tough, but I would feel a lot more comfortable with the club going up now than a year ago or 2 years ago. So my answer to your question is, I'd like us to go up to League One. I think it would be a really good thing for the club, and I think the crowd base would go up big time, and I think we'd really invest in trying to fill that new stand as well. So my answer to that is I think League One would be brilliant for the club. Really good question though, Georgie, thanks for that. Next question comes in from the Borough Realist. Hi Mick.
Mick.
Hi Mick, good old Mick's back. Now this question is for you, Danny. Question is, fans seem to have a mixed feelings about Sanupe. Does the panel feel Sanupe deserves a starting position, or would it prefer to see him as an impact sub, or maybe even dropped completely?
Very good question, Mick. I like Sanupe. I think he's a good player. He's tidy. Looked very tidy over pre-season, and everyone said he deserved a starting place against Salford, which he rightly so he did, and he got his starting place. He got what he wanted. He was very poor last week. I think he's one of our worst players in my opinion, playing in that central role. He just looked all over the place. I just feel, because pre-season don't mean anything. You can have a good pre-season and still do poor in the main season.
Yeah. And
his main position is, right midfield, if I believe, or a right winger.
Yeah, I do believe that, when he first came to us, he was a winger, but I think Samson, especially the conversation we had at the open day, and I think was quite evident in our opening League 2 fixture last week, that they're trying to play him through the middle. But would you put him out on that wing, would you say?
Yeah, I think he's got the pace, and, he can whip crosses in. That is his main position, but obviously I do like what Sampson's trying to do by playing him more central, because he takes people on, and Salupe works very hard and he likes to push forward. I understand that, but maybe because we were playing Salford and they've got a very strong defence, maybe it just wasn't working out for him at that moment in time.
Yeah, good answer.
Maybe try and put him back in the central role against Exeter and see how he does then.
Yeah,
maybe give him another chance.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, Danny, really good points made. Actually, I think why not give him a chance in another role?
Yeah,
it's the only way we're going to find out, isn't it?
It was only one game. He had a good pre-season. Obviously, Salford didn't work out for him, but it didn't work out for any of the players, did it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of them. Again, I feel a bit sorry for Guthrie, because I thought Guthrie worked hard, but none of them had an excellent game, did they? That's why in the ratings they all got 5s and 6s. Really good question. Thanks for your question, Mick. Well answered, Danny. Now, this is actually the last question. We've actually got 4. So, again, I will tweet out next week about questions for the podcast. Please send us an over. This last question is for me. It's from Mike Harneman, and Mike has asked, with Denton, Digby, Byram and Nugent missing out completely, Parrott and Fielding coming off injured at half-time, Cuthbert, Sawes and TVC all carrying knocks at the end, do you have any major concerns regarding the fitness regime and training methods in place? My answer to this question, Mike, is no, I don't really. I think what people forget about is when a player or an accumulation of players get injured instantly, it's what's the manager doing with them in training? I've played the game before, and I played at a semi-professional level, and I had it a few times in my career. Injuries happen. And I know that people can label it and say, the manager's overtraining them, or they're doing this wrong in training. Unfortunately, players just get injured. Don't get me wrong, the injury list is big, and I understand that there are concerns and people kind of saying, well, hang on a sec, what is Dino doing and the coach is doing with training for them to get injured? But unfortunately, players get injured. I was on Sports Scene last night. Thank you very much, Dean Thompson and Jay Drack, for having me on. I've got to say, a fantastic radio platform. And Dino said the same. Salford struggled to fill their bench on the game. So it's not just us with the injury list. There are other teams getting it as well.
Yeah, of course. We're not the only ones.
I agree. I think the training methods are fine. Dino's a professional football manager. Samson and Oldfield are professional coaches and have been professional managers. They know what they're doing. They know the players. They know the team. I think it's one of these unfortunate things where we just kind of go, look, the players have got injured. Few of them have got bad knocks. It just is unlucky. They will be back in a couple of months' time or a few months' time when they start to get fit and we see Kennedy's and Nugent's, it will be fine. But yeah, I can understand the kind of concerns over it. It is a worry with the injury list. But no, my answer is I'm not concerned about the training methods. It's pre-season. They're all there to work hard. I don't think Dino is absolutely thrashing the players in pre-season.
Not at all.
But they're there to work hard. They're there to get fit, and they want to start the season really quick with a lot of stamina. So, no, I'm not worried at all. But really good question, Mike. Thank you for that. Now, we've nearly come to the end, Danny. To be honest with you, I think we've done really well considering the circumstances of being in the car and only having 2 of us.
It's the only quiet place, isn't it, really?
Yeah, the contingency plan. I think we really went through the rule book in this one. But no, it's been great to go through the podcast today. Hopefully this time next week, we have 3 points on the board.
Yeah, definitely.
Just before we end off today, I will add in there something as well. I know that last week wasn't a great performance. I think we can all say, and it's disappointing to see a second bottom after one game. It's only one game, but let's really back the players this week. I think that they'd have worked really hard in training, and I think that Dino, I do believe that Dino played the wrong setup last week, but Hopefully he plays the right setup. Hopefully he puts some of those players in like Hussein that really did well last week, and hopefully we get at least a point on the board. You know, that would be good for us, but to get that win and to have that platform there, it would be excellent, Danny, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
100% agree.
Well, look, thank you to all the listeners for tuning in to episode number 6. Obviously, Borough's League 2 campaign is underway. It's fantastic to be back in League 2, isn't it, Danny? It's super to be here.
Yeah, very exciting.
We've been waiting for this podcast for a while because we said throughout the whole of the pre-season that once League 2 started, it would be quite exciting doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
We are very sorry that we couldn't play the interview back from Saturday from Dino. The technical kind of circumstances are a little bit dodgy at the minute. The internet from the gym's not great, and we've had to come in the car today and do it, so we are very sorry about that. Next week we will do the interview, and obviously very sorry for the post-match interview. It wasn't out on Twitter today, so we've had to read it out on the article, but no, thanks for the listeners. Thanks for all the people that got involved with the Q&A section, and thank you for the 3-word analysis. Again, I will be tweeting out tonight about the League 2 fixtures competition. If you want to get involved, please tweet us back your League 2 predictions. If you struggle to understand the theme of it, I will be explaining the point system and how we do it and what the prizes and who will be getting the prizes in the top 4, etc., and the bottom worst place. But no, it's been really good, Danny.
Yeah, very good.
Fantastic.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, one word just before we go. Saturday, massive match, second league game in League 2. Win, draw or lose? One word.
Win.
Win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your
Win,
word?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go win. I'm going to back the club. I'm going to back the team. I think the players would have worked hard, and I think they'll give us Borough fans a good result Saturday.
I think, they knew that last week was a poor performance and they let the fans down, and they want to put that right Saturday.
Yeah.
And they want to make the fans happy. They want the fans to go home to be happy about a good 3 points,
I completely agree. It'll be also great to see all the fans with their new season tickets. We've picked up ours, Danny, to use the new automated systems.
Yeah, picked up mine.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you aren't going to a game on Saturday, please get yourself down to the Lamex Stadium just before 3 p.m. It is a massive game for our club. It's a new era at Borough Saturday, our first home fixture in League 2. Good luck to the team. If you're listening to this, fellas, really give us a good result and a performance on Saturday. We would cherish that for the whole week. Thank you to all the listeners for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week for episode number 7 in the Stevenage Football Club podcast, and discussing our Carabao Cup match along with Saturday's game and the build up to Leighton Orient. So it should be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Thank you to all the listeners. You have been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.